Hey everybody, Motorpoet 59 here. Well, you saw my my introduction piece the other day. Now it's time to start talking about racing and the upcoming season, 2022. I'm going to start talking about the Supercross season because it's the first one that's going to kick off. I'll talk about the teams, talk about the riders. I know there are 50 other shows, like I said, you can go watch Pulp MX if you want to listen to. I actually watched the show, but sometimes it's 5 hours long, and I'm not going to sit through anything for 5 hours. But anyway, I watched the Supercross preseason special on NBC on Christmas Day, and I thought it sucked. For one thing, I don't care much for Will Christian. I don't think she's a very good commentator. She babbles, and sometimes I can't understand what she says. She's kind of got that, I don't know if you call it a Cockney. It's not Cockney, I don't think, but her British accent, to me, is sometimes hard to understand, especially when people are wearing masks. The show was done with nobody in talking to each other, sitting next to each other. At least Pulp MX does that. NBC has everybody still in different states so they don't infect each other or something. We're not going to have Grant Langston this year. He has resigned from NBC in protest of their forced vaccine mandate. I'm vaccinated. I have no problem with the vaccines. I have a problem with people being forced to do it, and I support Grant for doing what he did. It's shaping up to be a great season, so let's get into it. But anyway, I just want to talk about some of the teams, who's going to be riding what, and we'll start with Honda. Ken Roczen and Chase Sexton are both going to be riding 450s. I believe that Chase Sexton, by the end of this season, is going to come out as Honda's #1 rider. I think Ken Roczen has too many issues. I think I'm not sure. It doesn't seem that he's injured. I think he has possibly overtrained every year, and he's worn out by the time the season starts. He starts out strong, and he immediately starts fading away. He's an awesome rider. He finishes up in the points and stuff, but he just doesn't seem to be able to pull it off anymore. That's a shame because I love Roczen. He's such a character, and I really wish him well. Chase Sexton, dude has some smoke, man. And I really think he's going to come out as the top rider this year. The Lawrence brothers in the 250 class, Jet proved his worth last summer. Hunter, I don't know if he's having a harder time adapting to America and the way they race over here. I'm not sure. He never complains. He doesn't make excuses. He just does what he does, and hopefully Hunter will have a better 22 than he had at 21. Jet, I think he's ready to show his bones in Supercross as well. I don't know if he'll win, but I think he's going to have a great Supercross season. KTM, Cooper Webb, Marvin Musquin, and Aaron Plessinger. Cooper Webb, wow. The guy's he's so gutsy. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm not a big fan of his. I'm a fan of his racing and his riding. I'm not a fan of his personality. He's got that I'm angry and I have a chip on my shoulder thing, and I guess that works for some people. Worked for Bob Hanna, but I don't know, guys like that. But it's not, and I don't. Not pull for him out on the track. Somebody who rides like that, I like to see them ride like that. Marvin Musquin, I don't know. Poor old Marv. He just never had the fortune in America that he had in Europe. Again, it's a completely different world over here. Just as it's a completely different world if one of us goes over there. Ask Ryan Villapoto. Plessinger can win anywhere. I really, really believe he can. I believe this is his, he's in his window right now. Had he not been injured last season in the outdoors, I think he would have had a very real chance of taking a championship. He was flying. Nobody was just outrunning him everywhere. He was keeping up with the hot dogs, and I think that he may be on his way. And I think the KTM's a good fit for him and his style, and he's really glad to be there. Max Vollen is their only 250 rider this year. Max made a pretty good rookie debut. He didn't win anything, but he did ride pretty consistently throughout the year. Led some outdoors and looked pretty good. And he comes from a strong family of racers who can definitely give him some good pointers. The Husky team, when I wrote this list down a couple of weeks ago, and I really haven't had time to get back into it other than to things though. The Husky team, Zach Osborne is still going to race. That has changed. Zach is going to retire. His back's bothering him. Malcolm Stewart got a 2-year deal to ride indoors and outdoors, and I think that's awesome. I love Malcolm. I love his character and his spirit. He's had some pretty decent rides over the last few years, but he suffered with some injuries that have kept him from getting on the truly top level, the top level teams and top level support. And he had some pretty good results on the Yamaha last year, but I don't think the Yamaha fit him very well. He never really looked comfortable on it. And I think that the Husky is going to be a good fit for him. Dean Wilson, I love Dino. He's one of the coolest guys that's ever raced motocross. I've been around him in the pits at races before. He's really, really friendly, takes time to talk to people, laughs easily, makes a joke of a lot of stuff, but I believe Dino's time has passed. I'm really kind of surprised that he still has a ride here. Maybe I know that he had trouble last year with I believe he was dealt with Epstein-Barr last year or something of the sort. It is, I know a lot of teams use name recognition and they keep people around for that. And it's not that he can't still haul ass, but I don't believe he's a consistent top 10 guy anymore. We'll see. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. RJ Hampshire, Jalik Swole, and Styles Robertson on the 250s. All of them showed they were fast, especially Hampshire, but Hampshire just can't seem to stay on two wheels. I didn't see anyone else in the 250 class, especially outdoors last year, going faster than RJ Hampshire. He went faster than everyone all the time, but you got to stay on two wheels. So hopefully RJ's a cool guy. I like the fact that he was a baseball player and the story about, which way am I going to go, and he chose motocross. I'm glad he did. Jalik Swole, a little inconsistent last year, but fast. Won a couple of races or a couple of motos. Right off there again, I didn't go back and research this. Styles Robertson, local hometown boy. I live in Bakersfield. I grew up in Datchby, but I live in Bakersfield. And Styles didn't have a good Supercross season. He got injured right off the bat. He wasn't 100% when he went into the outdoors, but he led a few laps at the opener at Pala and had a couple of good motos, but was not able to race himself back into shape before he got hurt again. Hopefully he'll have a better year this year. Gas. Justin Barsha signed a 2-year deal with Gas. He looked really good on the bike last year, and the guy's still capable, I believe, of winning at any given time. The class is going to be strong, so he's going to have to step up. The Gas is coming around, and it's under the KTM umbrella, so the money is there, the research is there, and test riders and all that. And Barsha's a machine when it comes to testing, so I read and so I'm told. So he seems to be really stoked for this new team, says he's going to finish his career there, and I hope that he means that in a good way. Michael Moseman. Michael Moseman is a good rider. He's fast, but another guy that suffers with consistency problems. Kind of along the RJ Hampshire thing too. He ends up on his head a lot, and I say a lot, but often enough to where it affects his overall performance. Pierce Brown, another one who's spent his last season banged up and riding inconsistently, but I have seen flashes of speed. Star Racing Yamaha. It's a shame that Yamaha didn't turn their 450 program over to Star Racing a few years ago. I think that the careers of a couple of Yamaha riders would be in a different place today had that happened. They proved last year that they have something that Yamaha never figured out. And Dylan Ferrandis proved that he was the man all season long. If anyone was going to win even a moto, they were going to have to beat him. And a few people did, and he beat himself in a couple of motos. But in the end, no one was really close to him where the championship was concerned. And I was really happy for him. I've been following Ferrandis since he was a 250 rider in the GPs on a Kawasaki. I like his style. He's very, very aggressive, and I like that. I was at the Anaheim race where he took Christian Craig out, and I thought it was just a racing incident, and everybody was all burnt, and my attitude, and I told my wife and my buddies and my other family were there right then, watch this take off in the media. And when it did, I said, if that would have been Christian Craig taking out Dylan Ferrandis, that conversation would never have happened. No one would have cared. And that annoyed me, knowing that that's true. And you know it's true. Ferrandis is going to be hard to beat. Unless he gets injured or something, he's so confident and he's so fast. He didn't have to do jack at the closing round last year, and he still came from a way back first turn incident to come back. Was it third? He came back to, and he didn't have to, but he did because that's what he does. It's what he's getting paid to do. Just like he said, he's not getting paid to ride around in last place. Eli Tomac. Eli's definitely capable, still winning races, capable, still winning a championship. How he adapts to the Yamaha is yet to be seen, but came from a Honda onto the Kawasaki, and he didn't have any trouble doing that other than the bike wasn't very good. But once they got the bike figured out, Eli was hard to beat, and I think that he's going to give his teammate a run for his money this year. The 250s, Christian Craig, Colt Nichols, Justin Cooper, Jeremy Martin. Jeremy Martin, he's kind of at the end of his window too, and if he can still do it, but if he's going to do it, I really believe that he needs to do it this year, outdoors. I don't know if Jeremy has the indoor chops anymore. I don't really know that he ever did to be dominant, and you almost have to be dominant in Supercross in the 250 class to win. I don't know if he has what it is going to take to beat Lawrence and some of these other young guns. They also have Nate Thrasher and Levi Kitchen. Both of them showed some speed. Thrasher won a race last year. So we'll see how it works out for them. Kawasaki, Jason Anderson to Kawasaki. I don't know. I think Anderson can ride pretty much anything they stick under him. I remember Jeff Ward saying one time, people talking about their bike doing this and their bike doing that. He said, if you put me on a bike that won't break down, I can win on it. And I think that's how Jason Anderson is. He is one of the riders I really like. I like his attitude. I like everything about it. The fact that he likes to go have fun and cut up, and he's not stuck in this training only, racing only life that some of these guys are into. Thank you very much, Ricky Carmichael. And he proved that you don't have to be like that to win, you know. And people say that when he left Alden Baker that really had an effect on him, but I really don't know that that's true. I guess we'll find out this season. We'll find out if Kawasaki fits him. Cianciarulo, God, he's still so fast and so talented, but he's just another guy that just seems to have the worst luck. He doesn't have these big, gigantic crashes generally, but he tips over and breaks his collarbone or runs over his foot or does something crazy like that or hurts his knee without falling. God, I really like AC. I think he can really be the next ambassador for our sport. And he's such a great character. I've never met him either, but he is a great character. I'll say something else about Jason Anderson. My wife and I were at Glen Helen the last year that Jason rode 250s for KTM, and we sat next to his grandparents, and his grandfather had the exact same job I had at the railroad. His grandfather worked for BNSF out in New Mexico, and I worked for Union Pacific here in California. It was a very, very cool people. But anyway, AC, I hope he has a good year. If he has a good, solid year, he's capable of winning in both Supercross and the outdoors. And I really hope he's able to stay up, stay healthy, stay fast, and get on with it this year. I really do. I really do hope that. Joe Shimoda. I think Joe Shimoda wasn't just the biggest surprise of 2021. I think Joe Shimoda has been the biggest surprise of any rider who has come on the scene, in my opinion, in the last 10 years. I know he's been around for a couple of years, but when he got on that pro circuit Kawasaki, he became a different rider, and he just hangs in there. He's who was the Damon Huffman? Wasn't it Damon Huffman that they called the Diesel because he was just always there? And that's what Shimoda reminded me of. You know, all people, they'd be battling out for the top 5, and all of a sudden Shimoda'd be up there. And it's like, hey, where'd he come from? He got a few good starts, but mostly he just, all of a sudden he was just there. And that's one of the things it takes to win championships. And that was in Supercross and the outdoors. And now that he's got all the confidence brought through from last year, these guys better watch out. He's going to sneak up on them too. Austin Fortner, I don't know, man. He didn't look very good last year. He's hurt the year before. He's actually only had one really good season, and he's just always hurt. I think that his confidence level is way down. He's another rider who's approaching the end of his window, especially as a 250 rider, and I just don't know. I mean, I don't know. I said I didn't, back 100 years ago, I said I didn't think Ricky Carmichael would transition well to the premier class. You know, I was really, really wrong about that. But Fortner needs to get it done this year. He needs to make a statement. I like Fortner. He's another guy that I enjoy his style, enjoy watching him ride, and I hope he has a better year this year than he has had the last couple of years. Seth Hamaker, yeah, he's had some good and bad races, pretty inconsistent, got beat up a little bit. Jet Reynolds, another hometown boy. I have never seen Jet race, not on TV. I've never, they don't do a lot of racing locally around here anymore. And so I've never seen him race other than just YouTube clips and things. But man, he looks fast. And I don't know. We'll see how he does. I always pull for the hometown boys. Cameron Mcadoo, another one that has really been very inconsistent over the last couple of years. He had that spectacular crash. Was it Atlanta last year? Oh my gosh, can't believe he didn't get hurt worse than he did. And again, he's shown flashes of speed over the years, but inconsistent and seems to be a little on the fragile side. Getting to the satellite teams. Privateers. These aren't privateers. Privateers are the guys that haul their bikes to the race in the back of their pickup and have their mom and dad help them unload them and pay the bills. Those are privateers. Privateers aren't guys that have factory help and semis and all that. So this is the second tier factory teams, I guess. At least that's my opinion of it. HEP Twisted T Suzuki. Brandon Hartraft is going to be there again this year. His last year was okay. He had some pretty solid finishes. Got to see him on TV battling with some of the bigger guys every once in a while, so maybe they'll get that pushed forward a little bit this year. Adam Inignapp, very popular rider, somebody you always see going through the LCQs, and he rarely ever moves straight into the final, but he does make a lot of finals to the LCQ. But like I said, he's a very popular rider, and I'm glad he's out there. Guys like that are good for the sport. The last I heard, Justin Bogle looked like he was going to be on that team this year. He had a pretty solid year last year, was trying to race his way back into shape. Towards the end of the year, he was having some better finishes, but I don't know. There's another guy who's reaching the end of his window, and if he's going to do something, he's going to have to get it done. Mark Chaparral, X-Star Suzuki. I remember the Chaparral team when they rode Hondas and Yamahas, but now they're on Suzuki, so maybe there is something to the 250 coming alive, because these are all 250 riders. Carson Mumford, Dylan Schwartz, Preston, is it Kilroy? Okay, Dylan Schwartz surprised a few people. I guarantee you that some of the factory riders that got passed by him late in motos last year, I'll bet he was a real surprise to them. Derek Drake has been around a couple of years now, but he had heart surgery. As it turned out, he had a birth defect that he had fixed in the off season, and hopefully that will give him better stamina, and he'll be able to, his body will be able to work better. What a trip to have a problem like that and be a motocross racer. So, man, I hope it works out for him. He had flashes of speed, but he was never there at the end. He always seemed to peter out, and hey, now we know why. Rocky Mountain ATV, MCWPS KTM, Shane McElrath, another guy who's approaching the end of his window. Plenty of speed over the years, but another guy that just suffered with, I think, overtraining problems, Epstein-Barr stuff, injuries. Last year, I think he had a back injury last year. And hopefully that's come around, and we'll see how he does. Is another guy that I like to see do well. Max Anstey. I love Max Anstey. I did when he was racing the GPs, when he got off and kissed the ground when he won the British GP a few years ago. That was really, really cool. I remember when he first came to the States and he got hurt pretty badly. I think he broke his femur at Anaheim one year. And it was the first time I'd ever heard his name, and I thought, oh, what a cool name. Joey Savacci was unconfirmed at the last I heard on that team. I hope he comes up with the ride. I really do. He's another guy that works real hard. Smart Top, Bullfrog Spas, Moto Concepts, Honda. Tony Alessi has turned out to be a great manager once he got his son out of the way, or once his son got him out of the way. I don't know which was impeding the other, but he's done real well, and he's well respected now, even after all the shenanigans that went on with that family over the years. Justin Braden. Braden is definitely at the end of his racing window, but he's still fast. He won Daytona at 33. Come on, man. That's an awesome feat. He looked good at Paris. Justin is, I believe, 36 this year. And we'll see how he does. Vince Freezy. Vince is Vince. I don't think Vince is going to be a top 10 guy. Not consistently anyway. And everyone knows his reputation as a basher and a crasher. And I still like Vince. I still like watching him race. But he's been had the misfortune to be in the wrong place at the wrong time a lot of times in his career. And another thing about Vince, and along with Mitchell Oldenburg, who's also going to be on this team, is they're going to race 250s indoors and 450s outdoors. I think that's pretty cool. That would suit me to a T. And if it was me, if I was fast and if I wasn't old. All right, well, that's the 2022 lineups as I know them. I could be off on a couple of them because, like I said, I hadn't updated things in a couple of weeks. Jordan Bailey is another guy who had a ride. I don't remember who it was with this year, one of the privateer teams, but he has decided to retire from motocross as well and Supercross. So we won't see Jordan Bailey around this year. That's too bad, but it's like he said, he was just kind of tired of getting beat up all the time, and he has some other plans in life outside of motocross and doesn't want to spoil a chance, doesn't want to miss those opportunities from being injured in motocross. All right, we'll see how these guys do. If you agree with me or disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. Shoot me an email at motorpoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. And I said, give me a big thumbs up. Click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content, and we'll see you all later.